Hello everybody, this is Toys R Us, and for this new figure unboxing and review, we're going to be looking at the Legacy United Metal Hawk figure. So in this video, we're going to compare him with the original release of this particular version of the toy, the original release of the use of the mold, which is very similar, which is Cyclonus, and of course we're going to be comparing him with his Generation 1 original self. So before we get started, I'd like to remind anybody who's not subscribed to the channel, if you'd like to hit that subscribe button for me now, please, because it really will help me out. And also to thank Hasbro for this figure, because that's how I'm able to now do this review. We're going to look at the packaging first because it is beautiful. I love the logo there. I love the fact that even though it's packaged in robot mode, you get the alternate mode on the front. The artwork there for the full-size robot on the bust is fantastic, and as we already know, there's 18 steps to transform him, and you've probably already noticed I've already uploaded the separate transformation tutorial anyway. Now, to be honest, I was just going to do a very quick gloss over of this particular figure because it's exactly the same as the other, apart from a different paint scheme. So sometimes when they get different molds, sometimes they the same mold, sometimes they change other things, like maybe a head sculpt or something. But with this, it is not. It's just a straight up redeco of, to be honest, and this is why I'm giving it its own video, one of my all-time favorite figures, and that is down to the Japanese continuity. Exactly that, Japanese continuity of, I suppose, figures and indeed cartoons. So if you're unfamiliar with this character, his name is Metalhawk, and he was in the 1988 Super God Master Force cartoon. Right, I'm going to carry on actually, so I'm just carry on talking. I'm just going to set him free. So yeah, so in 1988 in Japan, they had their own set of cartoons. Everything had stopped obviously in the West. Sunbow had stopped just after what we know to be season 4, which was pretty much like the Headmasters and the rebirth of Optimus Prime, etc. Whereas in Japan, they just kept on going, and it's a shame that we didn't get any of these, because again, as I was growing up as a kid, I didn't really like, and I had no sort of affiliation or affection for the Pretenders really at all. But then as soon as you watch Super God Master Force, Metalhawk ends up being like the main Pretender, shall we say, that you just get this different, what's holding that down now, this bit here, you just get this different opinion, this different, I suppose exactly that word, different affection for the Pretenders, and they make a lot more sense, etc. So this is why this is such a cool toy. They've also, what they've done, what I like about this as well, is with the other, I suppose, what's the words I'm after, with the other Pretenders that they've done in the Legacy toy lineup, what they've done is they've managed to just amalgamate the shell and the robot together. Like, so Bombburst, when he's in robot mode, it's pretty much like the same as the shell so I'm just trying to take the accessories off. The shell is the robot mode, then the alternate mode is the inner robot in their particular alternate mode. Whereas with Metalhawk, they've not really bothered anything to do with the shell, to be honest. In fact, I'll get them out in a second. What they've just gone for really is the solid inner robot, which I'm sure you can see and sort of make out there. There's no similarities, there's nothing here to do with the shell whatsoever, apart from the fact of the sword. This new toy deco, you can see, is much more like the actual what the original G1 toy, whereas this particular one here is a lot lighter. Right, I'm going to do some much more detailed comparisons. What I want to do though is just some first impressions, which I'm going to gloss over because I've already biased, because I love this mold and I love this character. But for those who've never seen this or don't know what this is, here is the articulation in the head. It will go all the way around, no problem whatsoever. The arms, the wings are attached to the back, so you can spin this around completely unrestricted. You can also move the wings back if you wanted to. You've got a swivel at the bicep there, which is in the shoulder as well. You've also got the flexion. There's a little bit of wrist movement. I can't remember, to be honest, guys, from the others. I don't think it is supposed to. Oh, it is. No, it doesn't swivel. It's just for the transformation process. The waist will go all the way around 360 degrees unrestricted. Hips will kick to the front, to the back, to the side. There's the swivel at the top of the thigh. There's a knee bend. That's probably the only negative, but it needs to have that gap there to be able to do the transformation process. And there's an ankle tilt and rock. So yeah, so what I do with these videos is first impressions, and again, we've already pretty much discussed that. Next stage of the video, we're going to see him in his alternate mode before coming back for the final time in robot mode, having a look at his accessories, and doing, of course, more comparisons as well. So for the meanwhile, let's get him into his alternate mode. So then we're back, and as you can see, he's in his alternate mode already. Again, apologies, no transformation process on this video. That's because I've already uploaded it separately. I want to keep the main length of the video down, but it's also given me chance chance to transform the original as well. And again, quick apologies for this. I know this isn't all the way down, but it's really stiff, and I just don't want to push it. I'm sure you can understand that, so quick apologies on there. Anyway, the alternate mode is beautiful. It's just great, and as I say, it's so nice that we've got these updated versions, as I say, of figures that, even though perhaps we didn't know too much about us, you know, when we were younger, which I've got to confess I didn't, it's so nice the fact that we now have them as adults. What I also like as well, and I've just saved this, is to show you the similarities, or shall we say the homages to the original. So that's the original 1988 figure there. I've just added or attached the two separate weapons, which are of course the guns, and then of course here you go, you can do exactly the same. Oh, which way is this? That's it, it's this. It's not the 5mm port, it's these two tabs here. So again, you've got the complete homage to that, which is just so good, and you can see that there. In fact, if I just move the box out of the way for now, you can see just how good the similarities are, to be fair, or how close it actually is. Of course, the only big difference is that with this one, you can take the giant sword and you can also attach this here as well. Whereas I'm not too sure, I'm saying that, but that's really difficult to go in. Right? In fact, no, see, I should do a bit more. It goes on there like that. I would imagine it would fit in anyway, but I'm not too sure. No, there would be nowhere for this particular sword to go, especially in that particular alternate mode. Just one other quick thing as well, in case you didn't know, this has got a die-cast chest, so it's one of the only Pretenders with die-casting. And if you want to see more details on this, he has his own review, of course, up on this channel. So there is a lack of landing gear. I know that some people will ask about that. There isn't any. There is these parts, which of course I suppose are designed to look like that, but yeah, there's no actual physical landing gear. But what there is these brilliant things here. You know, you can put loads of them, loads of different blast effects if you wanted to onto this. You can have a right play around with it. There's loads of things that you can attach there, and I'm sure you can attach as well to you know, to the guns. They'll be exactly the same. This is a nice big, what I would class as a great big Voyager class figure. In fact, I think it's bigger than, you know, your standard Seeker jets. Maybe, you know, probably about the same actually. It's just the blast effects are making it look bigger, but again, the Seeker jets I do think are big for their class. There isn't, as I say, much more to say about it. It's just, you can tell that I love it. I think that's pretty much it there is to say about on this one. What I am going to do though, I suppose I could bring this in, because it's a use of the Cyclonus mold. So again, it's sort of similar. I'm not too sure, but it definitely is, of course, with regards to the Kingdom version you're going to see in a second. But that's it for now on this mode. Let's come back in the robot, see how he looks with all his accessories, and do a load more comparisons. So we're back for the final time with him in his robot mode, and let's show you what we can do with his accessories. Now, the good thing about this is you can store them if you don't want to use them as well. So what that means is you can pop this onto the back like that. And I suppose if you wanted to, I don't think you can store these anywhere, but you can store the sword out of the way, and then you've got a couple of choices of what you can do with these, which again, I think is brilliant. We can do a straight up homage to the original G1 figure like this, which would be to just put the two blasters in the hands like so. And again, there's nowhere that this little robot could have held the sword anyway either. But of course, what I really like about this, and funny enough, this is in the instructions as well. What I like about the instructions is it's showing you everything that I'm showing you, and the fact that you can combine the weapons. So let me show you that. This is just another little brilliant touch, to be honest, I suppose, just to give you a bit more play value to the figure. So these will combine via these tabs there, like so. They again can be blast effect compatible if you wanted them to be, just to give it that little bit of an extra oomph. I'm really liking blast effects as well. I didn't at first. I thought they were a bit pointless, but I suppose as I get more and more used to things, they do look pretty good. And then we can take the sword off the back. I'm going to take them out of the way because they're just too big for now. And I'm pretty sure, let's have a quick double check, that this sword is just a carbon copy of the original, just with a tiny bit more detail. Yep, you can see it is there. So that's a great little reference there. Again, so that is how I'm going to be displaying him, definitely with the two up, with the twin blasters. I'm not too sure I've got the other, to be honest. I've got the sword on the back of that one. So there you go. It's just a cool toy. It's got a wicked transformation process. You can also, if you wanted to, you can just turn these out of the way. You don't have to have them there. There's multiple ways in which you can move these wings about. They've got like 1, 2, 3 hinges, probably no 2 hinges for you to choose however you want it. So there's again loads of display options and things which you can do with that. Right, let's do this guy first and foremost then, because this of course it's exactly the same mold, just different colors. So we've got a much more brighter blue, a much shinier silver. The red seems to be about the same, and of course the gold is exactly that. It's a bit more gold than yellow. I think they pretty much, as I say, nailed it. I know a lot of people say, why didn't they just do that in the first place? I obviously can't answer that, but I know that people will do, so that's why I was just addressing it at the same time. And to be fair, I think it's cool that we get sort of cartoon. That's basically how he appeared in the cartoon. If anybody really wants to know, it's because this was how he appeared in the cartoon. Much lighter. And again, you can see that in the animation yourself. But I know still some people will still say, why don't we always get toy decos? And the reason for that is because exactly that, you know, there's so many to choose from now. There's toy, there's comic, there's cartoon, there's, you know, in some cases there's shattered glass in Generation 2. Thankfully, there's not that with these. There is the original owner of the mold. Such a clever mold. Incredible again how they managed to get a brilliant new character. Oh, can you fold these up? No, you can't. I was just wondering, like, obviously because of you could with Cyclonus. You can also of course attach some weapons. So actually, let me have a look at this. I don't know what this is going to look like. It could look absolutely awful. Forgive me if it does. It's just me ad-libbing, having a play with these. Is it going to fit in? Yes, it is. So now, if you really wanted to, he could have some shoulder cannons, which makes it a little more interesting. I don't know, actually. That actually tends to work. But there you go. There he is with his original self as well. And I think just very quickly for you guys to have an idea of how big he is, that of course is the new Commander class. And then we've got the old I suppose the Old Faithful. That's the Netflix Earthrise, just to give you an idea of how big he is, I suppose, compared to some figures. I tend to use lots of Optimus Primes, and the reason why I do that is because, let's be honest, most people have at least one Optimus Prime figure, and then straight away I'm going to put a Sentinel up just because he's the one that's nearest to grab. So there you go. That gives you an idea of just how big he is. He is a nice and big Voyager class figure, and yeah, I think he's great. I'm not going to carry on gushing about this guy. I do think it's amazing. I want you guys to let me know in the comments what you think. In fact, we'll start the debate. Which do you prefer, cartoon deco or toy deco? Let me know in the comments, guys. Take care.